Today is World Children's Day, and we now look at the plight of children in war zones. I am joined by Gugu Xaba, who is the CEO of Save Our Children South Africa. Gugu, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, I guess, should be a day where we should be celebrating children, but one can't help then think about the plight that children are faced with. Just yesterday, we had a 14-year-old learner that was gunned down in Ravensmead. What does World Children's Day symbolize in today's era?
Thank you very much, Martha, and good afternoon to you and the listeners. World Children's Day to us as Save the Children South Africa signifies a need to be sensitized and a need to do better than we are doing now in terms of children. And I'm saying sensitivity because I have noted that, yes, as you indicate, a lot of policies have been put in place and celebration of this day is supposed to be happening, but we are not seeing the change in improving the lives of children. And as Save the Children South Africa was saying, it means we're disregarding that children have rights, children have a right to be alive, to live well, and to be able to attain their fullest potential. It also means communities, because children are born in communities, in households, within a government that is supposed to take care of them because they cannot take care of themselves. So the fact that we are not achieving these results as a country, it means communities, it means households need to do better than they are doing right now. So I'm hoping that today people will be sensitized to see the reality of what they are not doing. So let's work on the gap of what we're not doing to improve the lives of children.
And when we're looking at it in the context of, you know, the example I just made of the 14-year-old that was gunned down yesterday, and the sad reality of that being that he's not the only one and he's not the first or the last. I mean, according to a News 24 report, every year around 200 children are killed in the Western Cape. And that's in one part of our country. We've also got, of course, the cases of the children who have died from food contamination as well, at least 23 of them, small children, that is. And while we should be sensitized to it as communities and households as well, what role does government have to play in ensuring that these beautiful laws that we have to protect children are actually abided by and instilled?
Thank you for that question, Martha. Government has a responsibility to create a system that improves. And the laws are in place, yes, well and good. But now, is government having standards that are being applied? Standards are there, I can confirm that. But the need to monitor compliance to those standards, it's not there. For instance, in all instances, shops must be checked by environmental health officers to make sure that the food they're selling is fit for consumption. That has not been happening to the level that it should. And then now the outbreak, then we remember that we've got environmental officers. So monitoring and being responsible and accounting for wellness of our communities through shops that are within communities has not been happening to the level it should. And I think government has seen it. Unfortunately, we've seen deaths, and it's then that we are reacting. But then at the same time, we need to have communities that understand the value of having a shop, the value of having a school, the value of having a community playground, and the value of keeping gangsters within communities, because communities are close to the problem. So if we can empower communities to call out the wrongdoers, communities to start putting laws and actually monitoring those laws, working closely with government, we can be able at least to have communities that are different. Like now, we've localized the problem of children that are being gunned down to the areas in Cape Town? Why is it that we do not empower communities to start ruling with government so that within our communities we can start influencing the difference that we want to see as communities? That's the part that we feel, as Save the Children, is lacking. Communities need to lead the change that should happen within their own localities. Thank you.
Quite often, communities feel despondent, as much as they want to take a hands-on approach when you're dealing with gang-ridden areas as well. You're dealing with people who are armed, who are dangerous as well. And communities feel intimidated by these gang members as well. In those kinds of instances, there's very little that they can do. Do you think that there are enough punitive measures that are placed on those when those incidents do happen, when a 14-year-old is gunned down on his way to school, when we do have a situation where 200 children are killed every year in such areas on the Cape Flats or in Nyanga and Khayelitsha as well, and not forgetting the other parts of our country too, where crimes are committed against children. Are we seeing enough in terms of those responsible for committing crimes against children being held liable and being sent to jail?
Masa, we are not doing enough, as I've mentioned. For instance, if you look at just the justice system and fast-tracking cases that affect children, it's not happening to the level it should. And we've seen many cases even being dropped because the people are intimidated, people are threatened by some of the perpetrators. So it means we're not doing enough. And now we do need police services and other security systems to support communities, because knowing that Inyanga and Guguletu are so much affected, we need to increase the security systems within those particular areas. One, to ensure that we do not see cases like this happening, but to also have preventative measures like rounding up the gangsters, because gangsterism, more so in the Western Cape, it's known, and some of the people are known, but the intensity within which our security system comes towards them, it leaves communities to be despondent, as you said. And so it means as government, as community-based organizations and NGOs, we have a responsibility to advocate for change in terms of the type of security systems we have, and give community members the safety and the security that they deserve, because that's the role of government. Thank you.
Yeah, just my last one before I let you go as well. As we're approaching the festive season, reports do show that crime does also escalate during that time as well, and that also includes crimes against children. What would your advice be just to ordinary members of the country about the safety of children as we're heading into the festive season?
Thank you, Master, for that very important time. Save the Children has already released tips in terms of social media and other material to say, parents, this is our time to rest. So as parents, we have a responsibility then to take care of our children. Yes, I know in congested areas, government increases security, but as we are appealing to you that let's teach our children that we stay together. Let's teach our children that we know who we are and the contact person, so that when children, get lost, they can be able to go to centers. We do have in places like Durban, the beaches, we've got centers where children can go if they're lost. But again, we're appealing to community members, adults. Let us be the adults we should be. Let us take care of children. Let us not be the source of a problem for children. And if we can all do that, take care of the child as a parent, take care of the child as an adult who sees a child that is lost and unaccompanied. And we also make sure that security systems are roaming around and providing care for crowded areas. But it's important to let communities remember that they need to be the leaders of ensuring that children are safe and they are secured.
A necessary reminder indeed. Gugu Xaba, thank you so much for your insights. A really big pleasure indeed.